Once the nuclear explosion of Chernobyl happened, there was no way to stop the radiation or the pollution of it. And no, it didn't reach Mexico, as it only affected the surroundings of Chernobyl, with an affected area with the size of Germany. And four environmental consequences of the Chernobyl 1986 disaster are large quantities of radioactive pollution spread across Ukraine. Chernobyl has become uninhabitable for a really long period of time. Radioactive materials were spread to parks, houses, buildings because of contaminated rain. The explosion caused genetic anomalies in the flora and the fauna. The consequences of using nuclear weapons are that they are just made for war, and their purpose is killing and destroying, and posterior to the explosion they leave behind radioactivity which damages the environment in an extremely bad way, and the consequences of it are very negative, as it affects the natural balance of the environment by killing the animals and plants or by affecting them with the radiation caused by the nuclear disaster or weapon. A solution for this situation will be to create a treaty to disarm all nuclear weapons, due to the fact that the purpose of them is only for war usage. In the case of nuclear disasters such as the one of Chernobyl, a solution would be to move the nuclear plants to a safe place where if there is an inconvenience it won't affect the nearby cities or flora and fauna. In the case of the nuclear disasters, such as the one in Chernobyl, a solution will be to move the nuclear plants to a safe place where if there is an inconvenience it won't affect the nearby cities or the flora and the fauna. By working this way we felt the work was easier, since we had different ways to see the situations, and we discussed the answers to find which one will be the best, to explain the best what we were asked. Yes, we did like working in teams with another campus, and no, it wasn't difficult since we are provided with the right tools to communicate with each other. And the fact that as we are from different campuses, despite it has the same educative system, they are taught differently as me and my partner from my campus, so we have different ideas and they as well, and our ideas complement to seek the best answer for this project.
The two examples of exponential growth are population growth. With exponential growth, we can see by the year 2000 there were around 10 times more people on Earth than there were just 300 years ago in 1700. The other example of exponential growth is the smartphone sales. With the exponential growth in daily life, we can use it to see the sales rate about the smartphones. The two examples of exponential decay. One example of the exponential decay is the percent decrease of political Balkans at salt. We can use the exponential decay for predict the salt consumption with the exponential decay formula to predict the next 5 years salt consumption. The other example of exponential decay is the high level radioactivity waste. We can use the exponential decay to calculate the high level radioactive waste by simply dividing the quantity of waste glass, 15 tons, by the values given by the curve, and the rest.
What is it that makes nuclear energy to be so dangerous? Well, nuclear energy is released by the splitting of the atom. This creates a lot of energy, so if not managed correctly, it can be very dangerous. The Chernobyl accident happened because there was an error in the design of the reactor, and it was operated by not fully capable personnel that didn't know about the problem. Another reason why nuclear power is so dangerous is because in order to release the energy, you have to use radioactive materials. So besides the initial explosion of the accident, there will be a lot of radioactivity floating around for thousands of years, making the area uninhabitable. Experts determined that Chernobyl will be unsafe for humans for at least 2,000 years. Once the explosion happened, was there any way to stop the radiation spread and its pollution? No. Once the explosion happened, there was no way to stop the radiation spread. Its pollution could not have been stopped.
Exponential growth is the fast increasing rate in proportion to the total number growth, a constant rate of growth by a constantly growing base over time. The function of the exponential growth is this one as follows: y equals a to the x. The main characteristics is that the number increases in an extremely fast rate. As the name says it, the number increases exponentially, in which the x value you set to the equation will increase to that value. Exponential decay is the fast decrease rate in proportion to the decay number, constant rate that drops exponentially respectively to the base number and its exponents.
It is said that in a nuclear reaction, splitting of atoms happens. So when you have an atom, it splits into 2, then into 4, then into 8. That forms a chain reaction that grows exponentially. The formula is 2 to the power of x. So every time it multiplies by 2, then by itself. So these are called generations. Every time an atom splits, it forms 2 other generations, and therefore it grows exponentially. The radioactivity of a nuclear explosion can only be decreased in time. It decays exponentially. The time that it is estimated for the nuclear substance to remove itself is about 100 to 200 years. In the Chernobyl example, the estimated time is 100 years for it to be habitable again, and the amount of radioactive substances that will remain in the area that it exploded have to do with the element that produced the explosion. Yes, the Chernobyl accident could have been indeed prevented, but while they were performing some tests, they turned off the safety systems. So that was the thing that caused the Chernobyl accident, because there was a power surge that messed up the voltage in the reaction.